Good little card last night in Chicago. Not very high level necessarily, but the co-main was alright insofar as that's concerned. Support the channel, guys. Buy me a coffee. Links in the description to a few other means and ways to do so. You know what to do. I got a lot of different things planned for the channel. You're gonna see some videos, especially historical perspectives that none of these so-called historians here in YouTube will ever tell you about for whatever reason. But we're gonna pull the curtain back on Ali's career for damn sure, and then some. But anyway, there's gonna be highlights on my other channel, so check that out too. Back to the topic at hand. Just the overbearing, I guess you would say, whelming theme, and I come away thinking this a lot these days, is that boxing fans, American boxing fans, they just can't score fights, man. They just don't know how to score a fight. Chris Mannix, I asked him on Twitter, like, what training he's gone through specifically. I'm sure he won't answer. In order to be able to score fights unofficially on the zone, because, and I didn't include it in my question, but for me, he just can't score fights. Even though he may get the result correctly at the end of the day, a lot of times it's too close, or he's giving the wrong rounds to the wrong guy, and he just can't score a round. He can't score a fight, and a lot of boxing fans can't either. But maybe that's the goal, is just to confuse everybody, and then you could control the outcomes better. I don't know. Be that as it may, the first fight, Jojo, well, the first co-main, first part of the co-main, Jojo versus Prograis. I don't understand the outcry. To me, Jojo won maybe 2 rounds in that fight. I mean, he was schooled. Basically, he got outworked. Prograis was, for the most part, keeping him in the center of the ring while staying off the ropes, and just schooled him with basic boxing, popping the jab, combination punching. Jojo had some success here and there, and yes, he was able to hurt Prograis once, and I think he maybe stunned him a couple more times. The commentators were just exaggerating how much hurt Prograis was, and they were scoring his body language. Because he was tired, then I guess Jojo was winning rounds. But I mean, why was he tired? Was it because he was throwing and landing twice as many punches as Jojo, piecing them up in combination? Is that why he was tired? Jojo, for his part, and maybe the cut contributed to him, so I'm going to cut him some slack. His stamina looked like garbage. Looks to me like he ate his way into this division, and the little bit of muscle that he put on, he just can't carry it very well. I don't know what it is exactly. Again, I'll cut him some slack because of the cut, and he was losing some blood in there. But this wasn't the Jojo that I'm used to seeing. He just didn't have the stamina in this fight. And Prograis, plain and simple, outworked him. And just because Jojo had some moments in some of these rounds late, and maybe stole 2 of them, 1 of them, okay. Even though he was stepping on the gas in most of these rounds, Prograis was answering, and it wasn't clear that Jojo was winning that last minute of the round where he had clearly lost the first 2. You don't win a round by getting pieced up and letting the other guy work twice as hard as you and hit you in the meantime. Bust you up too, and I don't get it. Prograis was, I don't remember him being on the ropes ever. He was circling Jojo, keeping him in the center of the ring, keeping the fight in the center of the ring for the most part, and just outworking him. And even though he did get hurt once and stunned a couple more times maybe, you know, Prograis always had that drunken master style where he kind of freezes, if you will. His legs and his upper body just kind of stiffen up, and he starts like pivoting around a little bit, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. That's just how he fights. That doesn't mean he's stunned. Now, yes, I do admit he was tired and he was blowing a little bit, but so what? That's because he was outlanding his opponent. 8-2 was my card. Jojo won 2 rounds early, and after that he shit at the bed, man. Just I don't understand the outcry. This was a schooling. It wasn't a beatdown, but it was a schooling, and he got outworked, plain and simple. Now, when it came to the main event, again, I don't understand the outcry. I gave Simms. I thought you could have given him 3 rounds in that fight. I mean, he was getting pushed back all night. He wasn't going back. He did a little bit of that, but it wasn't like he was controlling the fight, going back boxing. No, he was getting pushed back, put on the ropes, pounded on. He was sitting on the ropes a whole bunch. Anybody who wants to give a guy all this credit because he throws some punches while he's on the ropes, first of all, is he landing more punches than the guy attacking him? And is he hurting him more? Is he backing him up? Is he landing the better punches? Just because a guy gets off a few shots off the ropes that do score and momentarily back the other guy up, well, let's not forget how he found himself on the ropes and how many punches he took before he was able to answer. Okay? No trainer in the history of boxing ever said to his fighter, go to the ropes and punch off the ropes. But make sure you go to the ropes, corner yourself, make sure he puts you on the ropes, and then try to fight back. And that's all that Simms was doing in that fight. He was just barely fighting back. And okay, fair enough, he legitimately won some of the rounds, but not enough to even call this a close fight. Neither one of these fights was close, even though they were competitive. Big difference. Simms was getting hurt a lot more than the other way around, and he just got pushed back and beat on. And just because he had moments where he fought the other guy off a little bit, well, that's all he did is fight him off. Okay, he didn't control the fight. I'm generalizing, right? I'm not saying there weren't moments or maybe even rounds where he did. There were, but not 7 out of the 12, not even close. He was throwing get-off-me punches. He was fighting Duarte off in spots, but for the most part, he got outworked and dominated. That's not fair. He got the opponents in both of these fights dominated the fights, if not their opponents. So the fights were competitive, where the rounds may have been close. There were a lot of close rounds, but they were not close, the fights, because the close rounds had a clear winner, and that was the guy that won the fight. There were no robberies tonight. I don't get the outcry, and there's so much whining from boxing fans. Oh, let's just give you a concrete example. On Twitter, Shakur Stevenson, he's bitching and moaning and complaining how the commentators aren't giving, they're not noticing anything that Simms is doing. Meanwhile, you have the Latin Snake glazing Simms. He's getting excited because Simms threw a foot feint, and then he got hit, right? Because he threw a hard feint, froze himself up, and got pieced up after that. He's giving Simms credit. These guys were so pro Jojo Diaz, and then in the main event, they were so pro Simms. And even though there's clear affirmative action going on in the main event, and the guy is getting all this credit he doesn't deserve, people are still coming back and claiming bias, and in some cases, pulling the race card. It's just the entitlement of these boxing fans and these fighters claiming that they won the fight where they clearly got beat up. It's incredible, man. It's like people are so used to, fans, fighters, they're so used to getting all this privilege where just a tiny bit of the privilege gets taken away, and the other guy wins the fight as he should, even though the cards are crazy close. All of a sudden it's bias, it's racism, and it's all this nonsense. I don't get it, man. Every single trainer, if he ever gave his fighter any instructions insofar as what I'm about to say is concerned, always says, stay off them ropes, keep the fight in the center of the ring, back him up, be first, throw more punches. And both of the guys that lost the fights last night failed to do all of those things consistently enough to win more than 2 or 3 rounds. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, that's all I gotta say.